Kal Kadosh, Boker Or. I wanted to share with you a beautiful Dvar Torah also that I saw on this week's Parashat. We know that, and we've spoken in the past to do with Sara Imenu, about in this week's Parashat how she passed away. And we have the continuation, which is basically Rivka, continuing that legacy. And we actually already spoke about, if I remember correctly, I think it was Rabbi Frand in the past that he said, that if you think about it, why is it called Parashat Haye Sara? If you're going to tell me a parashat called on the life of Sarah, you would come and you would tell me what she's accomplished through life. You understand? Many times people, they go and whether it's they step down, whether you have somebody stepping down from the speaker of the house or whatever it is you want to call it, the speaker of the Senate, and she's going to tell you, I've worked with I don't know how many presidents and this is what I've accomplished and what I've done. And then they're going to say all their accomplishments. Parashat Chaye Sara starts, Parashat Chaye Sara, the life of Sarah, and it says, she died, and then we speak about how we bury her, and everything else. Where's her life? If anything, I would have done that on last week's Parashat. Say the life of Sarah. This is the death of Sarah. But rather, Rabbi Fran says beautifully, he says, no, it's the life of Sarah, because when a person has a legacy, and that legacy continues, that legacy never dies. That is her life. Her life is her legacy, and that which they're continuing her path. And therefore, when Rivka Imenu comes and she continued the path of Sarah, that in essence means that that's her life. She's still living. She hasn't died, which I think is an incredible yesod. However, though the Tana of Eliyahu comes and he says, in Perek Haye, he says as follows, Le'olam Yomar Adam, a person should always say, Matai yagiu ma'asai le'maaseh avotai, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. When exactly is it going to be that my actions are going to reach the actions of our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? The Netivot Shalom, the Slonimer Rebbe, comes and he asks a beautiful question. How could we expect to reach Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? How? Here, the fact that it's saying, Le'olam Yomar Adam, a person is obligated to say, means every single Jew. Because if it doesn't say that the big rabbi should say that they should become like Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, it doesn't say that. It says, Le'olam Yomar Adam, any human being will come and he will say that my actions should be like the actions of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So how could that be? You know who it was, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? They were like Malach HaSharet. How am I going to come and even fill in the footsteps or even try? What's going on? But rather, the rabbis come and they say as follows. The entire purpose of the Torah is to love and to fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to make a connection between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sefer Bereshit is called Sefer HaYashar. Why is it called Sefer HaYashar? Because we all have to be Yesharim. The Torah is not a history book. The Torah is in order to teach us how do we connect. This is the guidelines. You want to connect to God? Read Bereshit. We start, and that's how we start connecting. It's not history. So therefore, everything which is written throughout all of Sefer Bereshit, we must fulfill. And that's how we become Yesharim. It doesn't say we become Tzadikim or we become Hasidim. It says Sefer HaYashar, Yesharim. We become straight. We become connecting to God. And that in essence, every single Jew is obligated to do. And where does it start from? When it starts from Matai Yagiu Ma'asai Ma'aseh Avotai means that the first thing is we have to aspire. Which means that every single Jew has to aspire, I want to be like him. Do you know that everybody has a role model or somebody that they look up to that they come and they say, you know what? I want to be like that person. He's my role model. He's my guy. Every single one. Sometimes children, because they're very young, they don't realize, so they want to be like basketball players because they see basketball is fun. And they come and they say, I want to be like that person. Do you really want to be like that person? Obviously not. He's already divorced 3 times. Probably has, I don't know, thing, bankrupt, this, that. Just, do you really want to be like that person? But they don't realize that. They only see the, listen, he's good in basketball and that makes you cool. So I envy this person. This is my role model. This is my God. This is mine. This is who I want to become. But really, be'emet, that's what we have to do with Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. The first thing is she'ifa. When we say matay yagiu ma'aseh le'ma'aseh, what that means, I want to aspire. I want to become like Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. That's my role model. I want to be like them. That's number one, which is the most important. But number two also, matay yagiu ma'aseh le'ma'aseh avotai, is not only just an inspiration. We start to aspire to great growth, but it also comes in actions. But it's not only just actions of mitzvot. It's in every single action. Why is it every single action? Because it's the way how we live our lives. That even the way that we live a normal life, not only when we're doing mitzvot, not only this is the way of life, that's our ma'asai. And this in essence is so incredible because everything that the way that they lived, you learn Torah just for there. How many times does it happen throughout Gimarot or throughout everything that we come and we just say, this was a story, and we bring over the story and this, look, the rabbi went there and he did this and that, and all of a sudden we learned 3 things, and we learned 5 things, and we learned this, and we learned that. In 1 second, what are we learning? It was just a story. They were just walking. They were just doing something. And the answer is, from there, that's how you learn. Yafes sichatan shel avdei avot, yoter mitoratan shel banim, was said on Eliezer Eved Abraham. Eliezer Eved Abraham, in this week's Parashat, he looks for a wife. And the Torah comes at great depth, speaking about it, how he went there, how he did this, what happened, the story, the back and forth, even repeats itself again when he goes to the house of Betuel and Lavan. Why does it have to go to such great lengths? And the answer is, it's much more beautiful, even the idle talk, what they're speaking, even more than the Torah of the children. For tefillin, what does it say on tefillin? That's it. You have to start learning hundreds of halachot. How do the tefillin have to be? Does it have to be square? Does it have to be round? On the head, on the hand? Where on the head? Where on the hand? What's this? What's that? It's all written in the Torah. Maybe the Torah should have given us a little bit more of a guidelines on that and rules and regulations. And then when it has to do with the other halachot, which has to do with a story, I would have cut the story short. There's not a story time. There's not a storybook. And the answer is no, because you learn from that everything. You learn how to act from their stories, from the way that they conduct themselves, and not from even this, just the greatest of tzaddikim. Even Avdei Avot, the Eved of our forefathers, the slave of our forefathers, they came and they were able to learn. There's Gimarot Mefurashot, how from the maidservants of Rabbi, we learned halachot. We learned what does it mean in the Gemara. We learned this. Why? Because just the way of even speaking, the way that they spoke, they would use terminologies, they would come, everything was incredible. And that in essence is how we're going to come and we're supposed to connect. Do you know there's a beautiful Gemara, which I'm sure a lot of you know the Gemara, but we've never heard this explanation. Listen to this Gemara. The Gemara says there was a goy that came in front of Shammai. He wanted to convert. He comes and he tells Shammai, listen, convert me on condition that you're going to teach me the entire Torah on one leg. I'm going to pick myself up on one leg. You teach me the entire Torah, I'm going to convert. Shammai comes, get out of here. Throw him out. Okay. He comes to Hillel, and Hillel comes and he says, no problem. Pick up your leg, fine. Man desane alaych lechavrach la ta'aved. What your friend hates, don't do. Says one of the Magid Mimizrich. He comes and he says like this. Do you know what those words mean? Who's your friend? Who's your best friend? He says, you know who your best friend is? You know who your friend is? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That which Hashem does not like, which means that which you cannot connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't do it. Why? Because even the actions of Chulin, even the actions, right, which are mundane, they have to be for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does that mean exactly? So we all know the difference between the Goyim and the Jews are, Goyim believe that it's either you're holy or you're mundane. Holy, so you're a priest, or mundane, and that's it. What happens is they don't know how to use them together. And therefore for them, it's either you're holy or not holy. That's it. There's nothing to talk about. And that's why in the future, the mitzvah of the sukkah is going to teach us that. Because in the mitzvah of sukkah, we're supposed to eat, drink, enjoy ourselves in the sukkah, and it's a mitzvah. And the goyim don't understand, so they come and they kick in the sukkah, but they say, how do you do such a thing? It just does not make sense. There's something which is wrong. But for us, we hold that we take the mundane and we make it holy. We take something which was so not holy and we become holy. We make it into something of holiness. So according to this was what the goy was telling Hillel HaZaken. The goy comes and he says, listen, I want to convert as long as you teach me the entire Torah on one foot. You know what Torah I want you to teach me? How does the Torah make it that I'm going, just because I become a Jew, I can now become holy with everything mundane around me? How do I do that? Teach it to me on leg halacha. Teach it to me on one foot. I want you, tell me in one word, 2 words, tell me, how do I do it? And you know what he answered him? He answered very, very simple. He comes and he answered, right, that you have to sanctify, right? You have to sanctify the mundane. Everything that Hashem does not want, in order that when you connect to Hashem, what's hated on your friend on Hashem, don't do it. But that's in everything, not only mitzvot. You want to come and you want to sleep, connect to God. You want to talk, connect to God. Everything that you do, you're connecting to Hashem. You're eating. You're supposed to eat. On in Shabbat, eat meat, drink wine, enjoy yourself. You're doing it for the Shabbat. Sanctify what you have. That's what he's trying to say. So now they come and they say, now we understand when he says, what does that mean? Not only just mitzvotai, when my mitzvot become like their mitzvot. Every action that we do, we should try to connect to our Creator, just like Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov connected to the Creator. They were able to come and do everything, and they were connecting to God. They were coming, they were serving. Think about it. Did you ever think about it in the beginning of the Parashat? It says, Avraham Avinu was speaking to God. Last week's Parashat, Vayera. He's speaking to God. He's got a one-on-one with God, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he tells Hashem, please do me a favor. Wait a few minutes. I'm going to serve some 3 Arabs that they're coming now. Now, he didn't know they were Malachim. Why in the world are you telling Hashem, please wait? The Malachim could understand. I've got a very important meeting. I've got a meeting with the king. You understand? So you could wait a few minutes. No. He tells Hashem to wait. And then he comes and he serves them. What's going on? Avraham Avinu, in a simple way, he comes and he's connecting to Hashem through the Achnasat Orchim, just like when he's speaking to Hashem. The way of his life was so great that it was the same connection. So he comes and he tells Hashem, you're always here. These people, they just came, they're tired, they're coming from the path. Let me take care of them. And that's how I'm serving Hashem. It's such a great way that it's right there. And that's why you were able to do it, because he was taking the mundane and he was sanctifying it. And I think that's where many times we come and we get lost, right? Why do we get lost? Because we come and we start saying, 1 second, but even the mundane, you're going to play soccer, go play soccer, but have in mind, I want to be healthy. I want to be able afterwards to come and to serve our Creator. And now that changes something. Because what happens is that sometimes we forget, and then, I want to be healthy. So you go, you play the soccer or whatever it is that you're going to do, right? You're going to do the exercise, and then you forget God. So you don't pray Mincha Narvit, right? You don't do this, you don't do that. And then, listen, I can't do 2 things at once. The exact opposite. That was because now, right, you just came and you made that the exercise was used against Hashem. The opposite. Use it for Hashem. And now every single thing that you do in life, you're living with Hashem. The Rambam comes and he says something incredible. The Rambam comes and he's saying that when we're talking about the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he comes and he says, right, things which are the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to be, how is the love of Hashem? You have to love Hashem so much that your connection, your body is connected like a choli, like a person that's sick, that he has nothing else on his mind, that he's waking up, he's going to sleep, he's doing everything he's thinking about, the love he has for Hashem. He comes and he says, right, that this in essence, right, is what Shlomo Melech says, Ki cholat ahava ani. What does that mean, cholat ahava ani? He comes and he says, I have a sickness. You know my sickness is? I'm sick because I'm so much in love. And that in love is so much Everything has to do with Hashem. Everything that he's thinking about. And therefore he comes and he says, that's what we're supposed to connect with Hashem, to understand the secret behind it, to understand everything is for Hashem. And when we're going to come and we're going to live a life like that, it changes everything. So we come and we read these parashiot, and it's so beautiful. How you see Eliezer coming and saying, before I come and even eat, I have a mission. I have a job. Let's speak about my mission. I can't eat before I talk about my mission. This is my mission. And every other thing that you see that you're able to learn, right? The presents that he gave, each one representing the Torah, each one representing different things, how many bracelets, how many this, how many that. Look at Rashid. It's so beautiful to see how everything, just the way that they talk, the way that they're doing, everything is just Torah. Everything is just Hashem. You see it live. You don't need to think about it. You see it, you live it. And that's what I think that we have to do. Matai yagiu ma'asai le'ma'aseh avotai. Every Jew is obligated to say, Yomar kol adam, when are my actions going to emulate? When are my actions going to be like Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? We could become like Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. You're right, maybe not on the same level, but that is the life of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And that's what we have to do. Our mission in life is to sanctify ourselves, to become greater, to become better. And one of those ways is always to aspire. Number one, aspire. When are we going to reach there? Because if not, somebody says, no, I don't need to be there. I'm happy with what I am. Because that's one of the sicknesses of the generation. However, though, mitzad sheni, not only to aspire, to connect. The way that we connect to Hashem is by everything that we do has to do with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I just hope we're able to internalize this message in order that we should continue growing, and Be'ezrat Hashem, that we'll be able to continue serving our Creator, Be'ezrat Hashem.